Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back again, and today we're going to be talking about somebody from what I consider the new underground, going by the name of Phreshboyswag. Now, if you've never heard of this guy before, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised considering the fact that he is pretty deep underground, but despite that, he has a very dedicated fan base that listens to his music religiously. And once you hear the type of music that he makes, you start to understand why that is because, well, it's very weird. Look, guys, I know a lot of people like to hit me with the title of Unk, saying that I only care about rappers who were popping 5 years ago and don't know about the new generation, but I have actually recently been trying to listen to some of the music from the newer guys, and I feel like I finally at least understand net spend. It's not necessarily my thing, but I can at least understand the appeal. Two Hollis makes some pretty good music.
When the function have apple pie.
Xavier So Bass is not that bad, and Osama-san, well, he actually has a couple hits. But after listening to only 3 songs by Phreshboyswag, I feel like I need to go to the retirement home because I don't understand the appeal to this music whatsoever. It's just offbeat, weird, out there, but maybe that's why people like it because it's so different. But hey, we're not here to talk about music today. Instead, we're going to be talking about what Phreshboyswag's been getting up to in the past couple months. Now, real quick, for the people who don't know who he is, I'm going to summarize his career pretty quick. Basically, he's an artist from London that really started to blow up in 2023. But seeing as how he's a new age kid, he doesn't really work with people within London, instead finding friends over the internet that he would start collaborating with on music. This eventually led him to meet another rapper going by the name of Xavier So Bass, who is pretty big in the modern underground, and he has a rap collective known as 1C, which he would invite Phreshboyswag to join. And once he became a member, he ended up going out to New York, doing a couple underground shows out there, and basically networking and building up his career. However, things were pretty short-lived because by 2024, he would be hit with allegations of beating one of his ex-girlfriends. Now, I'm not going to get into all the details in this video, but from what the girl showed, it was pretty convincing, and it really started to tear down his career, with him actually getting kicked out of 1C, which put him in kind of this weird place where he definitely has his own fan base and people who care about his music, but he's not really able to get too much bigger because he no longer has that network of other artists who are able to give him cosigns. Not to mention he's a pretty heavy drug addict, which leads him to waste a lot of money and make a lot of bad decisions. Apparently these new kids haven't learned from the people who came before them because they're making the exact same mistakes. And as you can see, he's pretty well hitting all the check marks for an underground rapper's career, but the only one he hasn't hit yet is scamming his own fans, but it does seem like he's doing that as well. And all these controversies combined is leading him to lose aura. But you know what has more aura than Phreshboyswag? Well, the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Now, I already know that most people watching this video have a very short attention span, and because of that, you probably don't like to have your time wasted. And there's nothing more wasteful of your time than getting annoying spam calls and emails from people who only want to trick you and steal your money. But have you ever stopped to think, how exactly did these spam callers get my information in the first place? Well, it turns out there's a group of people out there called data brokers who spend all of their time trying to get your personal information online and then sell it to these annoying spam callers, making billions of dollars in the process. And they do all of this without your consent, but there is actually a way to stop them, and that's where Aura comes into the picture, because they can take all your personal information off of these websites and protect your identity online with only a few quick clicks. I've personally been using Aura a lot to keep my inbox clean, and they can do the same for you if you sign up with my link today. Use code TWISTEDWORLD at Aura.com to sign up for a 14-day free trial and start taking your internet security seriously today. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring the video, and without further ado, let's get back to it. Okay, so we actually have a bit of a special one today because we have 2 different accounts from 2 different people being scammed by Phreshboyswag, and apparently both of them have tried to make this known in the Phreshboyswag Reddit, but every time they try to post up the evidence, it ends up getting taken down by the mod team. So it seems like we have a bit of a damn killer situation here where the fan base doesn't want to believe that Phreshboyswag would really do this, so they're trying to censor off all of the information that might make him look bad, which I don't really understand considering the fact that this guy already has allegations of beating his ex-girlfriend, which is a lot worse than scamming a couple of fans. But hey, maybe the fan base doesn't want to add more onto the already pretty bad reputation that he has, so they're trying to shield him. But luckily for you guys, you have me to put out all the information, so without further ado, let's get into those screenshots, baby. So this all kicks off on October 29th of 2023 story, which would have actually been the height of Fresh Boy Swag's career, when the fan says, "I'll spend a little bag on a feature, brother, just let me know." Dude's trying to get in early. He knows that Fresh Boy Swag is going to be big, so he wants to get that feature before he really blows up. He then goes on to mention him on his story, saying shout out to Fresh Boy Swag, with him replying a couple minutes later saying $200, which honestly is a pretty fair price for an underground rapper at this caliber. And it seems like the other guy agrees, because the very next day he says, "Let's do it." And then after that, he goes on to say, "Send Cash App or whatever you want to use." He sends the Cash App, he sends the email so he can send the song over there, and he says, "Bet, fit to send the bread right now and send the open when I get home." And he's not lying either, because he immediately sends the $200. It seems like he must be pretty excited to get this feature, and he wants to get it done as fast as possible. And Fresh Boy Swag now has the money and all the incentive that he needs to record the song. And honestly, it's kind of nice to see how fast and easy all of this is going down, because in most of the videos that I do on scammers, it seems to take forever for them to negotiate a price, and then the guy sends the money, but he doesn't send the song, and it goes on for months and months. But there really is no reason why buying features in the underground shouldn't be this easy. All you guys got to do is negotiate a price, agree on it, the person sends the money and the song, you record on it, send it back, and well, everybody's happy. The smaller artist now has a cosign from a bigger guy that will hopefully help out their career, and the bigger artist now has a little bit of spending money which they can go buy a bag of crack with. But here's the mistake that everybody makes. The bigger artist gets the money and then immediately goes and buys the bag of crack and smokes it before they even do the music. Here's what you got to do: record the music and then smoke the crack. It's pretty simple, really. But hey, let's give Fresh Boy Swag the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he really is going to deliver on this feature, so let's read on. He goes on to say, "Yo, bet, let me know when you send the open. Thanks for being so quick. All love, 100%. I'ma hit that mad soon. Bet, brother, much love, bro, of course." He gets home a couple hours later and says, "Sent the open, bro. Let me know when you hop on." But as you can see, he's already made a mistake. Now, in these types of situations, it's very easy to get excited. I mean, after all, you're talking to a bigger artist and you're getting the opportunity to work with them. So of course you're going to want to send the person everything that you can as quick as possible, for two different reasons. First of all, you probably want to get the song as quick as you can, and on top of that, you want to look like a good business partner that's not messing around and wasting the other guy's time. But two things about that. First of all, don't try to do any business online when you're working your 9 to 5. You're not going to have the time to check your phone over and over again, and you might miss an opportunity because of that. And second of all, the best opportunity that you can get to actually get the feature back that you paid for is to send the song and the money at the same time, because the issue is you already sent him the money, it's been a couple hours, so he probably went to go buy drugs and forgot about this entire interaction. And I'm not saying that that justifies Fresh Boy Swag in any way, but I'm just saying that when you work with drug addicts, you got to know how they operate. Because immediately after this, we get the classic November 1st. Let me know when you get the chance to hop on that open, bro. He doesn't get a response. Let me know on the open. Doesn't get a response for 2 more days. Yo, G, when you finna do my feature? After that, another 3 days go by. Let me know when you can do my feature, bro. Yo, bro, I'ma do that when I wake up. Haven't been in the crib, my bad. Bet, bro, you're good. I think you're gonna fuck with that open heavy. Now, if we can read between the lines a little bit here, the reason that he hasn't been at the crib is probably because he's been out partying, doing drugs, and spending the money that you gave him for the feature on stuff that he probably shouldn't. The guy probably just went on a 6-day bender and then woke up and remembered that he had to give you the song, and what are the chances that he's gonna forget again when he goes on a second bender? Because immediately after that, another day goes by. He says, "Did you get the open in the email? Yo, gang, you got me tomorrow. Check email." Doesn't get a response. November 9th, "Did you get the open? Yeah, I'm getting on it. Bet, G, let me know when you send it back." After that, another 3 days go by. He says, "Let me know on that feature, G. Trying to drop tomorrow on my birthday if possible." And things continue on from there. 3 more days go by. "Yo, you finna do that feature soon?" Doesn't get a response. In another 3 days, he says, "Yo, you still finna hit that open?" He doesn't get a response. The next day, he says, "Hit me when you got mine, gang," and then he doesn't get a response. And finally, on November 20th, he says, "Yo, bro, can you send an open or something for that 200?" So at this point, the other guy doesn't even care about getting what he paid for. Initially, he was trying to get a verse on one of his own opens from Fresh Boy Swag, but with him not responding for almost 20 days at this point, he's simply trying to get anything he can for the money that he spent. And I'm pretty surprised he actually got a response from him, with him saying, "Yo, I got your open, what's your email?" And then he goes on to send the email. And this is probably what Fresh Boy Swag wanted to do in the first place. A lot of times these smaller artists will send a song over to the bigger artist and they don't really feel the vibe, they don't feel like it fits the type of music that they make, but they don't really have the balls to tell that person because they've already gotten paid for it. But in a case like that, I feel like you should simply say, "Hey man, I don't really like the song, I know you paid me to get on it, but I can't really vibe with it. Could I send you an open instead, or maybe you could send me another song. And if they don't agree to that, well, you simply just got to do the song. I know a lot of artists worry about their reputation when they do these small time features, thinking that if they don't do a good job, it could hurt them in the long run. But to be honest with you, if you don't promote it, people are probably never going to hear the song in the first place. So if it's not up to your usual quality, I really don't feel like that's going to hurt your legacy in any way. I'm not advocating for people half-assing verses when it comes to paid features, but all I'm saying is that you shouldn't worry so much about it and simply do the work that you're paid for. And you would think after he agreed to send the open that everything would be okay. I mean, after all, he sent the email, they already agreed on it. It should be pretty simple to get this deal over and done with and never have to worry about it again. But immediately after they have this back and forth, he goes ghost again. He doesn't get a response for 2 days and he says, yo, you finna send that open G. And then after that, he doesn't get a response for 9 whole days where he says, yo, bro, you finna hop in that open I sent you, or are you gonna send one for that $200 that I sent you like 3 weeks ago? Once again, no response. An entire week goes by. He says, yo, you ever finna do my feature? And this goes on into the new year with him saying, you owe me a feature still? Yo, bro, you owe me a feature. AG, you still owe me a feature. Onwards and onwards. This continues on until September 2024 when he says, send my 250 back, bro. You never did my feature. Send me my money back. Don't be lame. By November 11th, he says, yo, you trying to send an open or something? I sent you $250 a year ago for a feature and you ain't ever do it. It really ain't cool to scam fans, G. We all just trying to get it somehow, some way. We just appreciate the art that you create. Most of us don't make much more than minimum wage working jobs we hate, as you probably already know. So $250 is more to some people than you think. If you can't appreciate your fans enough to not scam them, why even bother selling features when you know you can't finish them or won't for whatever reason? And honestly, he makes a really good point. I know a lot of people in the previous video were saying $2,000 really isn't that much for a feature from a big time artist, but to most average working people, $2,000 is a lot of money. And some people might say if you're worried about $250, then you're probably broke, but hey, maybe some people actually are broke and they're trying to get out of poverty by making music. Either way, it doesn't matter if you have $1,000,000 or only $10. If you pay somebody to do something, they should definitely deliver on it, but in the underground, that very rarely ever happens. He then ends off the interaction by saying, May 20th, keep your word or don't speak at all, Mac, over a year ago. And to this day, he still has never got that feature. Zombie Juice left that one guy waiting for 17 long months, which I already thought was a ridiculous amount of time, but it seems like Phreshboyswag actually has the record for keeping people waiting on a feature, because 2 years without a response is criminal. But that's not the only time that Phreshboyswag has scammed one of his own fans, because we actually have a second interaction here as well, which I'll get into right now. Now, unfortunately, the dates on this one aren't quite as clear. We do know that it happened in September, but I'm not sure if it was September 2023 or 2024, but either way, it's still been a very long time. It starts off with the guy saying, I need a feature. He says, you got PayPal? Yerp. Okay, bet. My PayPal is this, friends and family. Otherwise, it puts payments on hold, which is always a red flag. I don't even think he's being truthful that they actually put the money on hold if you go through business. I think the only downside of it is that PayPal takes a little bit off the top. But if somebody ever tries to pull something like this on you, all you have to do is offer to pay the difference that's taken off by PayPal. That way you know that they're being legitimate and it protects your money from being taken. If you send it through friends and family, you have to consider that you might never get your money back because there's no way to charge back unless the person actually decides to send it back themselves, which if they're going to scam you, they're not going to do that. At that point, I wouldn't even bother with PayPal. You might as well do it through Zelle or Cash App because it basically has the exact same protection as either of those two apps. He goes on to say, screenshot the payment and then send it to my email. If you can do it like right now, I'm recording right now and I can get it back to you today. He goes on to do that because of course he wants that feature as soon as he can get it. This guy also seems to be British himself, so there's absolutely no way that Phreshboyswag is going to scam somebody from his very own country. I mean, after all, you guys got to stick together. Scamming an American, who cares, but scamming a British person, now that's fucked up. He goes on to send him $100 in their currency, which is about $138 in USD, and it also shows the date that he sent it to him, which was September 2024, so now we have a timeline. He says, I'm about to send that beat through, family. He says, bet, let me know when you sent to my email. Thanks for the easy work, gang. Finna spaz on it after I finish the one song. He sends him a screenshot of the song being sent. He goes on to record on it, sends it back to him the very same day, and everything's alright. Or at least that's what would have happened in a perfect world. He goes on to say, bless brother, bet, I'ma keep you updated in a few hours. Is there any way I can send you clothes soon, family? Ooh, show me what you got. He says, I specialize in pants, but I've been working hard to get t-shirt printing correct. That'll be perfect in, I say, about a month or so. He then goes on to show his where he makes the pants, and honestly, the designs are pretty cool, so if you want to check it out and support this guy, definitely do so. I also find found it funny how he likes all of the messages with the pants emoji. The guy is definitely playing into the bit and I'm here for it. He responds by saying, "These so hard. Those motherfuckers got like 60 hours in them. Real flag on top of True Religion denim. Seriously, thank you, brother. If you let me get your size and shipping, I'll ship it over to you in a care pack in like a month or two." And honestly, this is where you're starting to go wrong. You already paid him the money to do the feature. Make sure that he actually knocks out the feature before you start offering him other things, because if he feels like you're too easy to take advantage of, he's probably going to do so. I know you want to see the best in everybody, but unfortunately when it comes to a lot of these underground rappers, they're complete scumbags. They don't care about their fans. All they care about is money and, well, clout. Whenever you go into a business interaction, you need to come in on an even playing field, because even if they are your favorite artist of all time and you're completely starstruck to actually be talking to them, you still need to treat it like a transaction. You might want to become friends with them and think that maybe you can if you talk to them enough, but unfortunately they're not thinking about friendship. They're thinking about getting whatever they can out of you and then moving on to the next fan. I've learned this from experience. I've been there too. I'm not shitting on anybody for falling for this type of thing. I'm only trying to help people in the future not fall for the same bullshit. Freshboyswag goes on to say, "I'm like a size 29. I couldn't even give you an inseam or anything like that, not gonna lie, but I could ask my designer friend tomorrow to get my measurements because I'm doing his runway tomorrow. Haha. Come on, bro, enough about the pants. Get the feature done and then we can talk about the pants." He then goes on to send 2 different voice messages, which I'll play right here. And this actually does something very special for us because it debunks all the criticism that people are going to make, saying that maybe this account actually isn't run by Freshboyswag and it's a manager or somebody who hacked him. But with him sending this voice message, it 100% confirms he actually is the one behind the account. I'm only saying that because in my previous video, a lot of people try to say maybe it isn't Zombie Juice behind the account, but just so you know, it actually is. He confirmed it to me. We'll talk more about that at the end of the video, but for right now, I'm going to play the voice messages, so here you go.
Like, basically, yeah, like, so I couldn't tell you exactly what waist size I am, but I know I have jeans that are like waist 27, and I also have jeans that are waist 30, but like, it's like my weight fluctuates so much, like, so like right now, like I'm like mad skinny, but then when I was, cause I'm back in London, but then when I was living in America, I got like hella fat, like, I don't know, it was just some American shit. So like I gained mad weight and then like lost it all again. But like I'd say like 29 is a safe bet, you know, like I can wear a belt, you know, I always wear a belt anyways. I have been rocking size 27s recently, but I was like, no way I can fit a size 27. Like, I mean, they're definitely tight, but you know, that's how I like it. But like, somehow I've been rocking size 27 and my waist size has never been that low. So I'm gonna get my measurements done tomorrow and actually get my like current waist size and my actual weight right now. Just cause like, I don't know, bro. I get fat, I get skinny like every other couple months. It's like mad funny. So yeah, I'll give you like my actual waist size and shit, and like all the measurements tomorrow when I'm at the fashion show.
After that, he doesn't get a response for a couple days, and he says, "Any chance you can record today, man? Update on the feature, please. Any shot you can record today, brother?" He responds on the 24th of September by saying, "Recording today. Sorry, brother. Work been killing me. I imagine you busy. No worries, family. Just curious and excited. Haha. Let me know, brother, man." I'm not even going to comment on the monkey emoji, but at this point, I feel like you're being way too friendly with them. I mean, I'm not saying that you need to be nasty or get on his ass to get you the feature, but don't be such a pushover. After that, he gets no response until November. He says, "Yo, can I get mine? I paid months ago." I think he must be responding to his story where he's offering up features, because by context clues, you can tell that he's saying that he wants his own. And this has to be the biggest piss off you can get as an artist, when you buy a feature from somebody and they don't give it to you, but then they're on their story like, "Hey, I'm selling more." I'll never understand this mentality of people who swamp themselves in so much work that they can't possibly ever get to the end of it. Simply get the feature paid for, give it to the person, move on to the next. I mean, it's very simple. simple, but the problem is that a lot of these artists are on drugs, so they're only doing these features to get an easy $200 that they can then take to their dealer and have a fun night, completely forgetting that they offered to do it in the first place. And all I would say to that is don't do drugs. I mean, I know rappers make it look really fun to do so, but this is where you're going to end up with your career completely ruined, a bunch of mistakes that you don't even remember, and trying to scam your own fans for a couple $100 for another hit. I mean, Fresh Boy Swag is only a couple months away from ending up like Little Wop, and nobody wants to end up like him. He says, bro, what the fuck? I already paid you and you're posting selling more features, and not only that, but you're leaving me on open because Fresh Boy Swag actually seen the previous message but didn't bother to respond to it, which is very disrespectful. But that's exactly where Fresh Boy Swag leaves it. He never gave him the feature, he never paid it back, and it's now been multiple months. And these are only 2 accounts of him doing this. I've also heard from other people who don't have the screenshots, unfortunately, that they've also been scammed by him. And if anybody else actually has been scammed by Fresh Boy Swag, make sure to let me know in the comments below and I can cover it in a follow-up video. Because just from looking at these couple of screenshots, he definitely could be on the level of Young Simi if we look a little bit deeper into it. And if anybody knows about Young Simi, they know that he's one of the most prolific scammers to ever live. And I already have 3 videos on him, so anybody asking about that in the comments, go check those out. But before we close off, I do want to make a quick statement about Zombie Juice, because I've seen a couple comments saying that he actually ended up paying the guy back, and that is true, but he only did so after the video came out, and he only did so to try to save face. I'm not really going to get into it, but basically the only argument that he had is that I didn't show the full conversation, but he refused to show me any other screenshots showing that he doesn't really have any sort of argument. He also sent his management and a bunch of other people to try to negotiate with me, even offering me $3,000 to get the video taken down, so that goes to show that he really wants it taken off. I mean, don't get me wrong, I at least appreciate that he tried to make it right, but you can't do a bad thing for months and months and months and then only after you get called out make it right and then get it taken down. That's not how it works. I'm sorry, bro, I'm not selling out my integrity for $3,000, and honestly, I think you need that money more than I do at this point. I'm rooting for you. I'm hoping that you can rebuild everything that you've lost and hopefully be a better person for it, but if you're trying to cover up the shitty things that you did, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that. The video's out, everybody knows the story, and trying to cover it up is only going to make you look worse. So there you go, guys. That's my response. This will be the last time that I speak about this, and it goes for any other person who scams their own fans. If you get called out in a video, don't come to me to try to get it taken down because, well, I'm not going to do so. And with all that said, if you enjoyed the video, leave delete this in the comments below. Delete This Gang is stronger than ever. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.